going? Wanna jam? Good. Let's rock.
On its surface, Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery is a niche little point-and-click action-adventure focused around exploration, puzzle solving, and observing the game's beautiful visuals and sound design. But describing it as just that wouldn't do it justice. Released in April of 2012, the game stars the Scythian, a swordswoman set out to achieve her woeful errand, which initially isn't made clear. That intrigues you all the more to try and guide her to whatever she needs to accomplish. Sworcery is broken up into a 4-act structure, each lasting around an hour to complete. While the experience isn't too long, the music, story, and art all work together to create a narrative that is extremely compelling. We begin the story with our mysterious guide named the Archetype, a well-dressed fellow with a cigar and a really cool-looking chair. He addresses you, the player, directly, establishing a sort of precedent to follow, as the game does quite a lot break the fourth wall. But it's done in such a way that it never really feels like there was a fourth wall to break in the first place. This also extends with the Scythian's interactions. She uses the first person like a lot of other protagonists do, but instead of I, the game chooses to use we. Though this may result in a bit of confusion, the usage of the plural pronoun makes the journey you go on with the character a lot more personal. Upon starting the first act of the game, there's already a lot to see. Tapping the water causes little splashes to occur, and you can see the reflection echo your movements in the water. As you walk by, you can see tiny little changes in the bushes and trees, almost as if to indicate a form of breeze rustling them. The deer and rabbits dash into the brush as you approach. Even the subtle ambience makes the game feel real, yet like a dream. Like mentioned before, this game does have its fair share of puzzles. These brief segments involve you harnessing the power of sorcery to change the environment around you. This can be things as minute as tapping the shape in order to as insane as changing the entire environment permanently. Usage doesn't stop at puzzle solving there either. The simple activation of sorcery causes the music to fade out into a calming, slow and steady tune, warping the environment into something tangible that the player can influence. The strongest part of this game is undoubtedly its music. Jim Guthrie, the composer and lead sound designer for the game, does a masterful job into breathing life into this experience. All of the music in this video is straight from the game's OST, and I still find listening to some of the game's tracks from time to time. There's a scene where you and your companion are hiking up a mountain, and the score accompanies you as you slowly make the trek up to the treacherous cliff of Mingi Ta. Great name, by the way. Guthrie is able to portray so much emotion through his tracks that the music sticks with you long after it's played in the game. Though some reviewers find the story a bit jarring with its use of self-referential dialogue and casual language in this fantasy world, the story progression lets you become a lot more attached to this little world you find yourself in. It might take a bit for players to get used to the game's unique style of storytelling, but I think that's very much the point. Sworcery isn't trying to be a big-name AAA game meant to make thousands of dollars and have millions of YouTubers playing it daily. It's trying to leave the player with something special. It throws out mass appeal for the sake of artistic vision and integrity. And while it doesn't redefine gaming as a whole, Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery is a psychedelic, mysterious experience where the player is taken on a journey through incredible dreams, magical geometry, and breathtaking sights.
Also, there's a funny little bear that looks like a Freddy Fazbear. Ooh, 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 ooh.